Hello and welcome to the Orthodox View, where we discuss the latest religious news from an Orthodox Christian perspective. I am its host, Philip Champion. Today, Russia is celebrating the Science Day. Science is often contrasted with religion. Many believe that any religiosity is alien to people who are engaged in scientific work. However, this is far from being true. Here at the Orthodox View, we have collected several examples of people of history whom you all know very well. Their understanding of the role of the Creator is worthy of attention. The first person on the list is Sir Isaac Newton. Everyone knows him as a great physicist and mathematician. However, not everyone is aware that Newton was a very devout man and a scholar of the Bible. For example, he believed that his commentary on the Old Testament book of Daniel was among his most important works. Although Newton's Christological views were highly problematic, he firmly believed in the existence of God. Now, let us turn to the second example, the discoverer of methane and the inventor of the electric cell, Count Alessandro Volta. Volta's contribution to science is appreciated by descendants with gratitude. Open any pack of batteries and you will see the first letter of his last name next to the voltage number. Being the son of a priest, Volta not only graduated from a Catholic school, but also taught the law of God to children himself. He remained a believer throughout his entire life. Our third example is René Descartes, a mathematician and a philosopher who created the Cartesian coordinate system and laid the foundations of analytic geometry. One of the reasons for writing his Meditations was the defense of the Christian faith. In particular, in one of the chapters of his famous work, Descartes reformulated the ontological evidence for the existence of God. Our fourth example is Mikhail Lomonosov, a Russian natural scientist, chemist, physicist, and astronomer. He laid the foundations of physical chemistry and the molecular kinetic theory of heat. Lomonosov was a deeply devout man. And finally, our last example today is our contemporary Dr. Francis Collins from the U.S. National Institute of Health. An American physician-geneticist who discovered the genes associated with a number of diseases, Collins has written a great number of scientific works. However, he is also the author of the book called The Language of God: A Scientist Presents Evidence for Belief. These are just 5 examples of scientists who were also believers, but there have been many, many more. Please remember that the dichotomy, which implies that science and religion have to necessarily contradict each other, is simply false. On February 10th, a series about the life of Saint Paisios of Mount Athos, who had been recently canonized, will be released in Greece. Saint Paisios is one of the most revered Greek elders, a monk from the holy Mount Athos. He is widely known, including in Russia, for his spiritual instructions and valuable advice. The 6-volume collection of conversations with him has been reprinted in Russian several times. The series is dedicated to the saint's life. Episodes were filmed in those places where Saint Paisios lived, including the Mount Athos itself. We hope that the series will have the English subtitles. Patriarch Bartholomew of Constantinople has joined the information campaign focusing on the alleged tensions on the Russian-Ukrainian border. On February 1st, 2022, the head of the Church of Constantinople said that a war is almost raging between Ukraine and Russia. So, where does he get the information from if the Russian side and even the Ukrainian side have repeatedly stated that there will be no war between them? Well, here's what Patriarch Bartholomew says himself. It started a long time ago in eastern Ukraine. If I remember correctly from the media, tens of thousands of young people were killed, mostly Ukrainians, and the whole world is against the expansion of the war. If I remember correctly from the media is a very interesting statement indeed. What's remarkable is that only a week before the statement of Patriarch Bartholomew, the representative of Constantinople in the United States, Archbishop Elpidophoros, addressed the Ukrainian ambassador in the US with the following words: "We express our support as Christians, as Greeks, and as Americans for the people of Ukraine who are suffering from the Russian imperialism that is manifesting itself at every level: military, economy, energy resources, and the Church as well. Now, instead of commenting on this rather odd accusation, let me quote Metropolitan Hilarion of Volokholamsk, chairman of the Moscow Patriarchate's Department for External Church Relations. Just a little over a week ago, Metropolitan Hilarion said the following. On the one hand, we hear assurances from the leadership of the Russian Federation that Russia is not going to attack Ukraine. We also hear from the lips of Ukrainian politicians that they do not see the threat of an attack from Russia. The US, however, persistently continues to convince its Western partners that Russia is preparing for an attack, and it is therefore necessary to take out embassy personnel from Ukraine and prepare for a full-scale war. I am deeply convinced that a war is not a method of solving the accumulated political problems. Therefore, politicians and all of us must do everything in our power to prevent the escalation of the conflict and the development of events that the Americans are talking about today. The vow of celibacy in the Catholic Church should be abolished. This opinion has been expressed by the Archbishop of Munich, Cardinal Reinhard Marx. In an interview with the newspaper Süddeutsche Zeitung, he said that the Catholic Church needs to consider abolishing celibacy for several reasons. In his opinion, it would be better for some priests if they were married. I quote, "Not only for sexual reasons, but also because it would be better for their lives, and they would not be so lonely." In addition, in his opinion, the need for celibacy today is called into question in light of how scandals related to sexual violence in the Catholic Church flare up one after another in different countries. Finally, Cardinal Marx is sure that young people are reluctant to go to serve in the Catholic Church precisely for this reason. What do you think will be the decision of the Roman Catholic Church on this issue? Share your thoughts down in the comments section. Local authorities in the Trabzon province of Turkey have decided to attract tourists to their part of country by recording a promotional video in the ancient Christian monastery of Paisios of Mount Athos. The monastery was built at the end of the 4th, beginning of the 5th century AD. What's problematic, however, is that with the permission of the Turkish authorities, they actually held a disco in the monastery. The main characters of the video are dancing to the sounds of electronic music, and the bell ringing serves as a background. Videos that have been published on social media have prompted furious comments about the desecration of this functioning monastery. The president of the Trabzon Association of Tour Operators, Volkan Kandarci, expressed his hope that such a promotion of Paisios of Mount Athos will increase the flow of tourists to the region. The head of the Department for External Church Relations of the Moscow Patriarchate, Metropolitan Hilarion of Volokholamsk, has stated that the religious peace in Turkey has been compromised once again. I quote, "The story goes that it had been done for attracting tourists. I am convinced that Russian tourists, who make up the majority in Turkey, would never consent to such a cynical trampling upon a Christian shrine." Well, this is all for today. Thank you for watching, and see you next time on the Orthodox View.